Hello everyone, I'm Percy Chumley-Flimsysham IV, not the fifth, of the UWC network. And I'm here with Auntie Meher, am I saying that? Meher, yes, thank you, of the, am I saying this correctly, the WIF?
Yes, Women in Action Forum.
Yes, so Auntie Meher of WIF has generously agreed to sit with us and talk about WIF, its history, and what she has in store for the future, as well as addressing any concerns that listeners have had or may have in the past. Now first, on everyone's mind, Auntie Meher, what is an auntie?
What is an auntie? How could you be asking me this? I mean, you colonized us. You Brits colonized us, and there's enough aunties over there. An auntie is a very powerful woman, and I mean, honestly, if you hadn't colonized us, it'd be calling us Ranis because we're queens. An auntie is equivalent to a queen.
I see. Yes. Could you just differentiate between the English auntie that we only see at Christmas and the auntie that manifests in what is Lahore?
So Lahore has always been run by aunties since the Indus Valley. It goes back to that, right? So Lahore has always been run by aunties. We sit on our fabulous sofas sipping our tea in these large drawing rooms, and we run Lahore. We dictate Lahore, we run Lahore, and anybody knows that. Have you met Lahori men? They're useless. They're completely useless. So we have to run Lahore.
This is a point. Now, if you don't mind, we'll jump straight in at the deep end. You have been quite critical of young feminists in Pakistan for not wearing proper Sari blouses, but I see that you're wearing a corset, very nice corset, I should point out. Could you perhaps elaborate on how the corset is permissible?
Of course. So this is a French sari from Paris Sari House, which no longer exists. It's hand painted, and I know you speak French and it's been missing its roots, so maybe you can talk to it in French. The reason I'm wearing a corset with it is because it's French. The corset is French, the sari is French. Therefore, logically, this is a sari blouse for a French sari. Now, these girls are wearing Indian and Pakistani and saris that are not French, and probably can't get a hold of them because it doesn't exist anymore. This is vintage. So, with Pakistani and Indian saris, they should be wearing Pakistani and Indian blouses. It's as simple as that.
Very interesting. And in regards to speaking with the sari, there shall be a follow-up interview with the sari and with the corset. Just, that's for the Patreon subscribers. Moving on. Firstly, how did WIF happen?
So some of us decided to fight Zia, and nobody else was fighting Zia. Nobody could even dream of fighting Zia. Zia was an awful dictator, but we will not talk about Zia and take up Zia. Zia will not take up space here. I fought Zia, and while I was fighting Zia, we had to create an action committee. So we created Women in Action Forum, which then gave birth to all sorts of NGOs and led to the NGOization of Pakistan and the few problems people point out with the movement. So Women in Action Forum, in essence, is the political wing of the NGOs, and it was founded so that we could fight for women's rights. Because Ziaul Haq tried to get rid of all women's rights. He wanted to put us in our homes, chadar in char diwari, as they say. He wanted us to be in burqas, and he wanted us never to wear saris again. He didn't want us to work. He wanted to suppress women in a way that was awful. What he did to the Hudud ordinance, and we didn't get rid of that. Yeah, but we made enough noise and we took a lot of pictures.
Excellent. Good to know. And is Zia still around, or?
Oh no, Zia died a long time ago. United World College. Are you from the Hogwarts for hippies? I hope you haven't seen my video.
We call that Wales. Thank you. Note to self: remove Zia faux pas. Good. Moving on. Yes. This with, you would say it's the political faction of your organization, yes? And
Yes.
if so, how many organizations are under the bosom or the umbrella of WIF?
Well, many NGOs, because the thing is they can't do a lot with the NGOs. There's funding limitations, there's all sorts of limitations. So, and of course, the other problem with NGOs is you have to have harassment policies, abuse policies, audits. So at Women in Action Forum, because we are not registered, we don't have to have abuse policies, we can harass with impunity, we can bully with impunity, we get away with all of it, and we don't have to have any audits, we can just say we don't have money.
So you would say that WIF is a rather streamlined entity. Very good, yes. I do understand there has been word along the grapevine that you've had a sort of inquisition, as it were, in regards to WIF.
Good word.
Yes. Now, could you clarify as to how the WIF Inquisition or the WIFquisition, yeah, thank you again, how that differentiates from a Spanish Inquisition?
Because it's desi, and it leads to what we call zalalat. I mean, I can't even translate that word. I can't tell you, but it's my kink. I can't help it, and if anybody says I shouldn't do this, I tell them stop kink shaming me, it's my kink. So essentially an inquisition is a last resort because we don't even listen to complaints. If somebody complains, we're like, we didn't hear that, we didn't know. If somebody abuses someone, we're like, "Ye to hua hi nahi tha, what are you talking about? None of this happened." So what we do is we try to first of all silence people. If they don't get silence, then we pretend to listen to them, and then there are many steps to it, so I'll explain. What we do is we defame the victims by declaring irony dead. We sit in our giant drawing rooms wearing our friends' saris, and we complain about how privileged our victims are. They speak too much English, they might have gone to the Hogwarts for hippies. Anyway, I will not bring up your school. And we try our best to silence them just through destroying their reputations and making sure they can't ever get work again. Now, if they are so privileged that they can deal with that, then we have to have what is called an inquisition to shut them down and put the fear of God in them and to make sure nobody ever complains again. And the inquisition also has many steps. What we do is we do something called a darvo. We deny, we attack the victims, and we reverse the victim and offender. So we allow the victims to come in with complaints, and then we become their victims saying you've abused us by criticizing us. And then we declare all abuse against seniors wrong, but we call them abusive because irony is dead, completely dead, doesn't exist in our world. And then we have to put the fear of God in them and silence them to make sure that our reputation is intact and that we are free of criticism because we don't deserve it. I mean, we fought there. That's enough. Enough.
Yes, very good, very good. So you would say that you do listen to complaints, actually, contrary to what some critics have said.
Yes, but it depends on listening, right? I mean, we listen by taking it from one ear out the other, and of course part of the zalalat tactic is to pretend to actually understand and then apologize and then reverse. It's very important to keep people really confused.
Yes. So this is very streamlined, you could say. Moving on then, you have described what happens at a WIF Inquisition. There is another concept that has come up and it's quite fascinating in philosophical circles. Could you elaborate on and I'm just getting my notes out, the almost slap?
Oh, fantastic technique. Fantastic technique. It's not physical assault, it's almost but not quite. So now remember, this is a last resort. An almost slap happens only when somebody does not tolerate bullying and you yell at them and you yell at them, and even if you're putting the fear of God in them. So this is how you do it. You first make sure they know that you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear anything, and you're going to shut this down. Then you tell them that WIF is not an adalat. It is not a court at all. There's no justice here. There's no justice here. And if they have the audacity to say something like "stop shouting at me," then of course you have to almost slap them. How dare they even say something like that? I mean, when I shout, it's a lovely form of shouting. If they shout, it's awful. So now, again, last resort, shout, 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 and if somebody doesn't listen, go right up to them and make sure somebody will stop you, and 1 inch away from their face. Don't slap them, just almost slap. And then troll them in the WhatsApp group and say, how dare you even talk about this or bring it up, and make sure that anybody who wasn't there starts to believe that the person who was almost slapped hallucinated it and is just crazy for saying it. And you say all sorts of crazy things to them, like, you've done nothing in your life. Are you the children of God? That is what an almost slap is. And of course, we remove it from the record.
So, if the almost slap is not on the record, then could one say, could one ask, did it even exist in the first place?
That is exactly, I mean, I'm so glad you know logic. I'm so glad you know logic, because the thing is, an almost slap is almost but not quite. And because it's not quite, then therefore it doesn't exist. And because it doesn't exist, it doesn't have to be on the record. It's the same thing as an almost arrest. I mean, you can even cut an FIR against someone, but as long as they don't go to jail, then it's an almost arrest and we can strike it from the record. The thing is legacy. Legacy,
Yes, just jumping into this again. Are you, as an auntie or as WIF as a whole, are you worried about legacy?
Well, when I'm dead, I don't care what people say. I'm worried about it right now. And yes, when I am dead, my family and friends and everyone will also sue and bully people into silence. So, my Zia fighting skills remain. I am worried about legacy a little bit because I am so controlling. I would love to be able to control what people are saying about me after I die. And my only concern is one pesky younger feminist who said that she might be writing my obituary, but I'll find a way to silence her in advance. I do worry about legacy, but it's ironic, isn't it?
Yes, very good. So, do you have any tips for others who want to successfully maintain the facade of a movement?
I mean, first of all, you must maintain that facade of a movement. In Pakistan, we don't have a single women's movement, but we are so successful at portraying it and pretending it exists. Otherwise, how will we get funding? How will we get funding? And one way to convince people there's a movement, because we had a pesky younger feminist who in the middle of an inquisition said, I just want to ask, do you guys think you have a movement that's cute? I mean, really, can you imagine she said something like that? It really hurt because it's so true. It really hurts when somebody says something true. You have to pretend to have a movement, and one way is by taking lots of pictures of yourself and pretending you're the movement and reminding everyone you fought Zia, and otherwise you will not get funding. So you have to pretend there's a movement. If this is an actual movement, there will be actual accountability, so you have to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So basically, they feel whomever is in that movement with you, they feel almost like they're being gaslit in a sort of abusive marriage, as it were.
Oh yes. Basically, I mean, we make sure they feel like they're trapped in an abusive marriage and trapped with Stockholm syndrome to the point that they will even jump off roofs for us. I mean, we trauma bond them so well to us. Unfortunately, some can afford therapy, so then we have to get rid of them through inquisitions. But yeah, the majority, unfortunately, we don't have too many younger feminists in our organization. I don't know why. The youngest are in their mid-40s. For some bizarre reason, I'm so incredible, you would think they would want to just hang out with me.
I mean, we do have one she was here a minute ago.
Why is she back? I asked her to leave because, you two were flirting, which is unprofessional, and I was getting very angry.
I was networking merely. She happened to be an alumni, so you know. Anyway, moving on rapidly. Could you tell us about this WIF project called the, and pardon my pronunciation, Bored Lahori Aunty Society, or blouse?
Oh yes. See, a lot of the feminists who fought Zia, and we are so upset with these privileged women who say anything about us. We're very privileged. We are part of the elite around here. And we are bored Lahori aunties, so we are at an age where we should have put down our hair, just let down our hair, have some fun in our lives, and that organization exists to basically run Lahore from our sofas.
Well, I must say it is a rather lovely looking sofa indeed. Is this a legacy sofa or?
But of course, everything here is an heirloom, like
very,
myself.
Very good. And movements
I mean,
in Pakistan.
Rings, everything has an heirloom.
So you would say that you recycle sofas, movements,
Saris.
saris?
No,
Yes.
I mean movements, forget it. No, saris. I've got my grandmother's saris, I've had saris fixed, I've had everything done. Yes, I recycle. Yes, I really care about the environment. In fact, I'm gutted about the floods in GB. Don't even ask me why. I'm gutted. You know, I planned a retreat. And we even had, I even had somebody coming from Sweden, one of the funders, but these floods, it's tragic. I can't have my retreat. And what's even more tragic is the glaciers are melting. One of the most important things we do is scream into a glacier to cleanse our auras. If we lose the glacier, we lose our connection with Pakistan. It's tragic.
So when I would assume that being a matriarch of WIF, that climate change is an important part of the auntie movement as well.
As long as we can get funding for it.
Makes sense. To change the topic slightly, another earlier video of yours that has garnered some concern has been in regards to an ailment that impacts women in particular. Now, you of course know what we're talking about. Could you elaborate on what this is, and could you explain how the, and I must be saying it incorrectly, desi ghee and belly buttons are also involved?
Yes, so a lot of people have endometriosis today because we have gotten rid of some old traditions. And one of the most important traditions we had was to put desi ghee in people's belly buttons. And you know, just you see someone, you pick up the shirt, you stick in some belly button, and you know, desi ghee in the belly button. It was a very good tradition and it kept everything in check, and women didn't have endometriosis. There's no record in my history, therefore it doesn't exist. I'm convinced that the reason why we didn't have endometriosis in the subcontinent is because we used to put desi ghee and pure desi ghee inside our belly buttons. You know, the wisdom of the desi ghee is the same wisdom of your grandmother, and it penetrates down and into the uterus and the system, and it fixes everything. So it's very tragic that endometriosis has increased because of the decrease in desi ghee sensibilities.
Yes. And I'm sorry, what's that? Yes, your assistant is raising a good point. What if your belly button is an outie?
First of all, you ask your mother why she did this to you.
I
mean, you can apply desi ghee to the outie as well. Maybe you need to apply it more, and if you're feeling frustrated by applying it, just put a band-aid on it. Put a band-aid on it. Even if you're wearing a crop top, it looks cute.
And would you say this is a WIF initiative as well?
No. I have to. I mean, my khala inspired this. My aunt inspired this. Her wisdom. People should listen to my aunts.
There have been allegations that you have been utilizing crystal healing in regards to.
Yes, this is my.
I see. Yes. Now, could you? Oh dear. Could you elaborate as to the efficacy of the crystals?
As long as this is around, I don't have any pain, and I sleep peacefully. And on the nights I don't, it's because it's inactive. I've done master level Reiki on this. And I continue to keep doing it because the crystal energy, crystals, they have energy that we can't see, right? And because we can't see the energy, we assume that it doesn't work. But you have to believe it. Just like homeopathy, you have to really believe it.
How effective are crystals in regards to your inquisitions?
How come I haven't used crystals in my inquisitions? Maybe I should. I am actually going to pet baby. Yes, I will talk to this crystal and figure something out.
Okay. And our listeners, on a final note, are quite curious. What does Aunty Meher have planned next?
Well, I've become a full-fledged homeopath, and I plan on imparting my wisdom to everyone. And one initiative I'm taking is to give people desi ghee and to go around making sure everybody just picks up people's kameezes, whatever, and just starts sticking desi ghee in there so that this nonsense goes away. It'll cure a lot of our problems, and don't even go on about consent. We aunties can do as we want and people can't say anything. Consent is for the weak, you know. So that's part of it, and I will just elaborate a bit on homeopathy because I saw you two sniggering. It's very logical. It's very logical. We have to give a placebo. Yes, it's based on placebos, and yes, it's magic sugar pills that go on for years. The reason why we give the placebo is because cortisol is produced in your brain. So once the cortisol has evened out and you are less stressed, then it works on the rest of your body. So in terms of endometriosis, the ovaries are producing estrogen and progesterone. So when the cortisol calms down, the ovaries calm down. This is logic. Not all hormones are produced in the brain. You have testes for your testosterone, right? This is logical. So I have a lot planned, and I'll be making tons and tons of videos, and don't worry, some will even be released after I die so I can haunt you all forever and remind you I fought Zia.
And on that final note, thank you once again, Aunty Meher, for speaking with us. And everyone, I am Percy Chumley-Flimsysham IV. And see you next time.
See you next time. Bye everyone. Remember, I fought Zia so I could become Zia.